Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Namaskar. This is Engineer Suraj Singh speaking from Bharat, India on this day number 14, 2021, around 4 morning time off. This Sunday, rest day for everybody. Title is same as usual, quality and contracts, quality and contracts and standards of safety we have to adopt. Title is same as usual, which is related to life and civil field engineering and life engineers quality contracts, construction, communication, etc. Such as usual, no one repeat every time. We have seen many videos. We have seen many videos of same title and its continuation and all that. And we know what you're talking of, and that's quality issue. I'm talking of the certificates and more. So I close the files, the certificates. And certificates important for everybody. We're talking of quality and we are talking of everything like that. I'm just showing you again because last video was disturbed and to whatever reason, and now it's again same means quality is an issue which must be taken care of by every one of us. It's our duty. The product should have quality. Everything is just like our life should have quality. Our life must have quality, and we cannot stick that. Quality can never be and must not be compromised by engineers in public, and it's a very important issue. I don't accept any compromise on quality. What is defined must be achieved. I'm not asking for super powers or defined. It must be taken care of. It's achieved. That's the most important point. क्वालिटी can never be and must not be compromised by engineer. कभी भी क्वालिटी से हम समझौता नहीं कर सकते. हम ये नहीं कह सकते अगर आप ये नहीं करें तो ये कर दीजिए. ये पॉसिबल नहीं, संभव नहीं. क्वालिटी को खेला नहीं जा सकता. क्वालिटी के साथ खेला नहीं जा सकता. और इंजीनियर्स तो बिल्कुल नहीं खेल सकते और पब्लिक भी नहीं खेलेगी जब समझ जाएगी कि क्वालिटी की आवश्यकता है. अगेन आई स्ट्रेस, क्वालिटी कैन नेवर बी and must not be compromised by engineers and by public. That's a very important point we have to be careful about. And engineers are problem solvers, they are developers, they are change agents, and they can do what cannot be imagined. They can do what cannot be imagined. Engineers वो वर्ग है जो कल्पना को साकार करता है, जो विकास करता है, जो समस्याओं का हल करता है, जो चेंज लाता है दुनिया में, विश्व में, समाज में, जो जंगल को शहर बनाता है, रेगिस्तान को शहर बनाता है, औद्योगिक विकास करता है, और वो क्वालिटी और सेफ्टी की परवाह ना करे, ऐसा हो नहीं सकता. ये दोनों बहुत ज़रूरी हैं. क्वालिटी की कोई लिमिट नहीं, कोई हद नहीं, और क्वालिटी ना अचीव करना एक फेलियर है. इंजीनियरिंग का मतलब क्वालिटी को अप्लाई करना एक बहुत बड़ा उसका हिस्सा. इंजीनियरिंग में उत्तरदायित्व और हमेशा की तरह क्वालिटी का सुधार की कोई सीमा नहीं, कोई रास्ता नहीं कि हम जो चाहते हैं वो ना करें. जो हमने किसी भी कार्य के लिए समझा, माना, उसको ना करें, उसके लिए कोई रास्ता नहीं. ये अपने आप में एक ऐसी परिभाषा है जिसको सिखाने की आवश्यकता नहीं है. हमने जो सोचा है, समझा है, जाना है, चाहेंगे वही होना चाहिए तो होना चाहिए. वी कैन नॉट गो अदरवाइज. अगर हम किसी काम को उसके हिसाब से नहीं कर सकते तो वो काम गलत माना जाएगा. जो कहा गया है, जो करना है, जो एग्री हुआ है, वो करना ही पड़ेगा. उसमें कोई लापरवाही सहन नहीं, उसमें कोई भुलावा सहन नहीं, उस पर कोई कहना कि हम नहीं कर पाएंगे ये बात सहन नहीं. अगर कोई पर्सनल, कोई व्यक्ति, कोई इंजीनियर ऐसा कहता है तो वो फालतू आइटम है, उसको निकाल के फेंक देना चाहिए. डिज़ाइन बहुत आवश्यक और उसी हिसाब से वर्क करना बहुत आवश्यक. इंजीनियरिंग का मतलब बच्चों का खेल नहीं है। इंजीनियरिंग का मतलब जो सोचा था, जैसा सोचा था वैसा करके दिखाना है। वो इंजीनियरिंग का जॉब हो या इंजीनियरिंग का हमारा बिजनेस हो, जो भी हो, सब सत्य पर, फैक्ट्स पर आधारित है। क्वालिटी का नहीं पाना, गुणवत्ता का नहीं पाना एक गलत काम कहलाता है और उसको हम मान्यता नहीं देते। सोचना आवश्यक, सोच के आगे सोचना आवश्यक, कोई रास्ता नहीं सोचे बिना। सोचना ही इंजीनियरिंग में शक्ति माना जाता है। सोच सोच के ही कल्पना से बाहर आके वास्तविकता का रूप दिया जाता है। सोच सोच कर ही आगे बढ़ा जाता है। और ये सोचना काल्पनिक सोचना नहीं है, ये सोचना हम पदार्थ को जो हमारे पास प्रकृति ने दिए हैं उसको कैसे प्रयोग में लाया जाए, वो बहुत आवश्यक है। प्रॉब्लम्स को सॉल्व करना, प्रॉब्लम्स को एनालाइज करना, फिर जोड़ना भी आवश्यक है। इसके बिना हम इंजीनियरिंग नहीं कर सकते। इंजीनियरिंग तो छोड़िए, दुनिया में कोई भी काम, विश्व में कोई भी काम हम नहीं कर सकते। हर काम की वैधता जरूरी, वो काम हमारे लिए सेफ हो, हमें वो सेवा देता हो जिसके लिए हमने वो काम किया, और उतने लंबे समय तक देता रहे जितने लंबे समय तक उसको बनाया गया, और बाकी प्रॉब्लम या बाकी बेनिफिट भी दे सके तो दे। और इन सब के जुड़ाव को हम कहते हैं रिलायबिलिटी। रिस्क बहुत आएंगी, आती हैं, आनी चाहिए, क्योंकि हमें पूरा ज्ञान नहीं है आने वाले समय का। रिस्क का मतलब डरने की बात नहीं है, रिस्क तो आएंगी। और रिस्क का मतलब होता है प्रॉब्लम्स, और प्रॉब्लम्स का मतलब होता है प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व कीजिए, हल निकालिए। डर नहीं चाहिए सबसे, तो होता है रिस्क सड़क पे चलते हुए भी होती है, रिस्क आपके घर में बैठे हुए भी होती है। तो रिस्क तो होगी ही। समय को समझना होगा, कॉस्ट को समझना होगा, उसके बिना कुछ नहीं होता। और कोई भी काम कैसा किया जाए, किस तरीके से किया जाए, तकनीकी क्या हो उसमें, कौन सा उसमें मेथड है, कौन सी सामग्री है, कौन सी क्वालिटी लेनी है, ये सब चीज़ें हमारे उस वाक्य में, उस दस्तावेज में आनी चाहिए जिसके हिसाब से हमको काम करना है, जिसको हम कहते हैं मेथड स्टेटमेंट। डिज़ाइन होते रहते हैं, डिज़ाइन का हिसाब किताब भी होता है, और डिज़ाइन उसी तरह से होना चाहिए जिस तरह से हमको करना है। कोऑर्डिनेशन बहुत ज़रूरत है, तालमेल बैठाना, काम करने के तरीके में, एक्शन लेने के तरीके में, कुछ भी करने के तरीके में तालमेल बहुत ज़रूरी। तालमेल के बिना मिल नहीं सकती चीज़ें, आगे पीछे हो जाएंगी, एक बिंदु पर नहीं आएंगी। कोऑर्डिनेशन उसे ही कहते हैं। अगर कहीं कई लोग काम करें, एक काम पर कई लोग बैठें, कई रिसोर्सेज साथ में हों, उन सबको एक ही समय पे एक बिंदु पर आना होगा, तभी वो मिश्रित रूप से अपना काम कर पाएंगे। उसको कहते हैं कोऑर्डिनेशन। और उसके साथ संचार बहुत ज़रूरी, क्योंकि कोऑर्डिनेशन और संचार दोनों साथ साथ, जिस तरह क्वालिटी और क्वांटिटी दोनों साथ साथ, परफॉर्मेंस करने के लिए क्वांटिटी भी उतनी ही आवश्यक और क्वालिटी उससे भी ज़्यादा आवश्यक। ये बातें बहुत आवश्यक है समझनी। जिम्मेदारी सिविल की, दूसरों की, क्वालिटी लेना सबका काम, हम उससे भाग नहीं सकते। ये बात समझनी चाहिए। नहीं समझेंगे तो अपने सर्टिफिकेटों का असर नहीं दिखाना चाहिए, अपने आप को बहुत बड़ा नहीं कहना चाहिए। मैं बात कर रहा था कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स की, जिसके बिना काम नहीं होता। कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स मीन्स we have to give practical shape to some designs, and designs means to bring on paper what we think of or what we dream of. हमने क्या स्वप्न देखा, उसको मैथमेटिकल शेप क्या दी। मैथमेटिकल का मतलब डिज़ाइन से है, उसको डिज़ाइन हमने क्या कहा, डिज़ाइन में क्या चाहते हैं, पेपर पे लाए, और पेपर पे लाने के बाद हमें ज़मीन के पेपर पे उतारना है इसको। माइंड की कल्पना से कागज़ पे लाए डिज़ाइन करने के बाद डिज़ाइन को असली पेपर पे, मिट्टी के पेपर पे उतारना है, और उस मिट्टी के पेपर पे उतारने के बाद हमेशा के लिए वो मिट्टी में रहेगा और हमारी सेवा करेगा। That's what I mean to say. Design means something derived out from power of mind, and that derived out writing, that derived out sketch or drawing or details are to be prosecuted, are to be implemented onto another major paper that is called earth, and that is forever, for good. Once we do it, we cannot say how long it would stay there, maybe for centuries or maybe many couple of decades. And that is main purpose. Contract, when we talk of contract, we talk of many clauses. There are so many clauses in every contract. These clauses are very important. Without these clauses, contract cannot be called a structured contract. Every clause has certain meaning, and there are hundreds of clauses in every contract, on every contract. It may be design contract, it may be construction contract, it may be design and construction contract, it may be procurement contract. Contracts are limitless. There is no definite limit on contracts. There can be hundreds and hundreds of points that can be covered in contracts. कॉन्ट्रैक्ट जिसको हम करार भी कह सकते हैं, ठेका भी कह सकते हैं अपनी भाषा में, वो ठेका एक बिंदु पर आधारित नहीं होता। हाँ, एक बिंदु अचीव जरूर करना होता है, जिसको हम कहते हैं वर्क। बिंदु तो नहीं कह सकते, लेकिन हम अंडरस्टैंड करने के लिए, समझने के लिए इसको बिंदु मान लेते हैं, फोकस मान लेते हैं। हमारा फोकस क्या है? हमारा फोकस है प्रोजेक्ट को पूरा करना, उसको स्टार्ट करके समाप्त करना, और ये गैप स्टार्ट करके समाप्त करने का बहुत लंबा भी हो सकता है, महीनों का भी हो सकता है, वर्षों का भी हो सकता है। इसकी लंबाई बहुत है, इसकी चौड़ाई भी बहुत है। बड़ी सिंपल भाषा में समझाने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ। हम कॉन्ट्रैक्ट को खेल ना समझें, हम कॉन्ट्रैक्ट को हेरा फेरी का धंधा ना समझें। लोगों के माइंड में आता है पर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कर रहे हैं तो हेरा फेरी ही होगी। सही बात है, माइंड में ऐसे ही आएगा, क्योंकि ऐसा होता है। इट हैपन्स। Contract is misconstrued. Contract is not taken in right spirit, but also there is no other way. I've not seen so far any engineer who can claim I would do this myself. I don't require any contractor. मैंने अभी तक ऐसा इंजीनियर नहीं देखा हमारी ज़िंदगी में जो ये खुल्लम खुल्ला कहे कि देखिए, मुझसे आप ठेकेदार की बात ना कीजिए, मैं खुद काम करूँगा, मैं ये काम अपने आप कराऊँगा, मेरे में इतनी हिम्मत है। ऐसा नहीं है देखा, बहुत कम होंगे ऐसे लोग, क्योंकि इसमें उत्तरदायी आ जाता है, जिम्मेदारी आ जाती है। किसकी जिम्मेदारी आ जाती है? प्रोजेक्ट तो प्रोजेक्ट है भाई, करना ही तो है। सोचिए आप ज़रा, आप घर में खाना बनाते हैं, यू कुक, you buy material, whatever ingredients you have to use in your vegetable or in your food, you buy that one, and you know every way what is right, what's wrong, you buy according to your choice, and then you cook food. Same thing we have to do in project, but it's at larger scale. Project works for years. Project consumes times in designs. These consume time in construction of physical work. Physical work is whatever it is, means it takes time. Sometimes it takes many years depending on size of project. प्रोजेक्ट कितना बड़ा है, कितना काम है उसमें, कई बार कई वर्ष लग जाते हैं। और वो कई वर्ष इतने लंबे होते हैं, वो एक आदमी की समझ से बाहर, एक आदमी उसमें नहीं कंट्रोल कर सकता। सही बात तो एक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट पे एक बहाना है, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट पे एक जिम्मेदारी से भागना है, और इसलिए कॉन्ट्रैक्टर आगे बढ़ जाते हैं क्योंकि उनको कमाना है, उनको काम करना है। Contractorship is not something that everybody cannot do. Every engineer is knowledgeable about contract, that's true. Every engineer can do contract, but because they are only interested in supervision and commanding, they're not interested in doing, you can say, every activity that's required to be done in contracts. And what contractor is actually, contractor is also nothing, to be very frank. It's a group of any organization. Contractor himself does nothing. You see, you go and see any contract. You can see whatever contract you see. Buildings are constructed, flyovers are constructed, structures are constructed. Everything is constructed. You go and see on site. Contractor won't be available. There shall be only contractor representative or contractor delegation who work, and they are all engineers. So where is contractor? My question is that should we find contractors directly involved in work? No contractor is directly involved in work. I accept very small contractors, just you can say item rate contractors. But if you see in fact, you go to any project, whatever project you go to in life, you will not find who has signed contract won't be available there. So what's purpose of contractor? Then question is this. I'm just trying to explain to you involvement of it's fake involvement or real involvement. I'm a contractor. Let's say I have signed some contract, but I won't be here. I'll go sometimes only, maybe once a month, or once a quarter, once a year, or even I won't go there. Maybe I stay somewhere else in another country, but I only sign and take responsibility. Who work there? Question is, which people, who are they who work there? They're all hired people. There may be project manager, project director, project organizer, construction people, design people, all that. Contract is not seen. So my question is, if contract is not seen, what for contract is required? Just to take responsibility and manage it, to manage what? Just to pay salaries to those guys and work and force them to do it as early as possible. That's what contract is, and it's not correct. Means you do your business, you conduct your business based on those people, right? Your involvement is not counted, but you are responsible. As contractor, you take responsibility. This means you are an organizer and you are a financer. That's all. Who works there? They are works engineers of different categories, different branches. Who work there? They work there. This means if they can work as such, why can't those involved with those owners, they themselves can work? This is difference. It's because there are unlimited numbers of activities in projects, in construction. Massive quantities of materials are involved, massive quantities of workers are involved, and massive, or you can say thousands and thousands of millions of hours of all these resources are involved. It's complete, professionalism that's required, because control of all these, you have to control thousands of workers maybe. You have to control many machines together. You have to control procurement of material, which must comply with quality requirement. All actions must comply with physical requirement, work requirement. Violation is not accepted. Violation of required is not accepted. And that is where we can say we keep someone who is an expert to control all these, or you can say to coordinate all these. Coordination is very important part in contract. You are not serious about that. Problem only comes in. If you are not serious, you will find problems in coordination and problems in communication. Coordination and communication are very significant part once design is ready and you enter on site for work. Without these two mechanisms, technical you are, everybody knows, because you are qualified engineer. Qualified and experienced means you are competent engineer. Basic qualification plus experience and expertise, which equates to competency. And competency means your capability. You are capable. But capable of what? That is a point to be contemplated by everyone. Can't you do work yourself? You can do your work yourself, but you say some system should be there. And again, if you do yourself, you have to pass through same stages of work as contractor does. There is no difference between a contract work or a self-doing work. In government, it was called department work, and if I do myself, then I have to do same way as contractor does. Only difference is I will not share any profit out of that activity, while contractor gives service to client, to owner, or to public. Contractor gives service, technical service, commercial service, and by virtue of which that person, that party has a right to make some profit. And that profit we can save if we do it ourselves. So you can say there is no much difference between a contracted work or self-doing work. If I have a chance, I have an opportunity, I will do self working, because at least first of all there I have to be busy on supervision. Here I am busy on doing myself, and when I do myself I'll think of everything. Contractor thought is different because contractor works for someone else, and contractor is not interested because contractor is not going to be responsible directly if design fails. Or if it's EPC, then so many issues are concerned. So EPC is something very different. It's like contractor yourself and designer yourself. So what I say, contracting is just a system, it's nothing else. It's not ordinary contract I'm talking professional contracts. I'm not talking a ticketing contract or insurance contract or very, very small contract where nothing is involved, very small conditions are there, complications are there. I'm talking of engineering contract. There's a difference between contract and engineering contract. Practically, I'm not talking of contract law. I'm not talking of contract act. In contract act, contract is defined. I'm defining type of contract. It is engineering contract, it is a design contract, it is services contract, or it is something else. Where high profile requirement only can work. High profile competent people only can work. You think a project manager or director is a small person? No. That's very high profile person. Having high profile competency, and that's where you can say, we may say that it is something very, very different. And we have to understand this point clearly, explicitly. The explanation of contract is always varied. You can explain one way, I can explain another way. Point remains same. Work should be delivered. That is exactly what is required. We cannot escape that responsibility. We cannot run away from that. And that's why I explain always about contract forms. These forms are of course systemized, but you can do your way, not necessarily this way. If you think you can get more better work by your own system, you can get that, but system means experience. System is something that can be conclusively applied with. उठ गए डॉक्टर साहब? जल्दी क्यों उठ गए? अरे सो आराम से. हाँ, जल्दी आ गई मतलब? अच्छा, सो है तो आ जाओ, डिस्टर्ब नहीं. हाँ, बढ़िया है. 2:30 बजे खुली? अच्छा, चलो सो गए तो अच्छी बात है. Hmm. So my dear, I am sorry for disturbance. My doctor friend was there, so I had to chat little bit early morning. Also got up anyway. So I tried to explain means don't be scared of contracts first of all. I've seen that engineers they have escaped contracts because it's not mathematics first of all. Weakness of an engineer is, or you can say greatness, you may also say. The engineer likes numericals, engineer likes formula, engineer likes those where calculation weighs more than theory or more than text, you can say. Text, very, very few engineers prefers use of text. If you see the subjects which are optional, 98% students would not like to go for text-based subjects. They will like to study only those subjects as option which are numeral based or calculation based. That is what blood of engineers is, means calculation of formula application and getting results. That is what engineering is about. It's about real world, not about imaginary world. Text means it's non-mathematical, but in contracts, text is more significant than numericals because there you will not see any numerical in these contract clauses. You shall not find any numerical even elsewhere in communication. All communications or coordination hardly includes any numerals or any calculation, and that's why contracts are different. Physics, chemistry do not tally with contract subject. Physics is numerals, a formula based, mechanism based. Same is chemistry. Same way, other subjects like applied mechanics, strength of material, theory of structure, designs, and whatever else. You can take fluid mechanics, you can take modern physics, you can consider whatever you want to say. Everywhere, numerals or you can say formula are involved, and that is beauty of engineering. But a contract is also engineering in fact. Contract is very high profile engineering which everybody cannot contemplate fully, and I am afraid to say that it's such a super specialized domain where even lawyers cannot make up, even judicial people cannot make up, because experience is important. It's not diverse case or it's not criminal case. It's something else where very limited application is the contract means volumes of documents. Think of how many levels of documentation are explained in contracts. We are talking here very small part like the retention money as you see on the screen. Release of retention money we are talking, and before that we talked something else also. We talked of something like payment, delayed payment. We talked of many other issues like interim. It's well structured for sequence of activities. It's well structured for something else also. So we're talking every point, every stage. It's a structure of contract that starts from takeover and goes to handover. So that project, it applies to project again. I say it doesn't apply to operation and doesn't apply to pre project. There's a gap. There's two ends. One end where project starts and one end where project ends. These two ends are called project. It's very small period if you compare it to operational life of you can say such project delivered. Once operation start, project stops. So we have to apply these conditions onto very small period of life. You may say contract duration we call when we start some contract and we close some contract. This you can say gap This gap which can be measured from date of completion to date of start. This is called duration, contract duration. And it's very small period, though we say it is for 1 year, 1.5 year, 2 year, 3 years. But if you compare to life of that produced product, delivered product, which may be 100 years, which may be 50 years, 60 years, 30 years. Industrial projects are generally minimum, we can say 30 years threshold. Then we have to retrofit it, or we have to redesign it, or do whatever we have to do. You can say structures of buildings, maybe 50 years, 100 years. Likewise, life of after project is over, after project is long one. But project's construction life is very small. If you take, let's say, 1 year project construction, 2 years construction, and 50 years of use. So what we say, we do very small part of that. Service part of that delivery product is very considerable. It's very, very long. We have to be very serious about that. That's why I'm talking. We are going to do something. We are going to create something, deliver something which will work multiple times of its construction duration. जितना हम इसमें टाइम लगाते हैं कंस्ट्रक्शन में, निर्माण करने में, उससे कई गुना अधिक समय इसका यूज़ होगा. इस बात को भी हमें माइंड में रखना चाहिए. बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट बात है यह समझने के लिए. आप बाज़ार से एक मशीन ख़रीदते हैं, 5 साल के लिए काम किया, फेंक दिया, सोचते हैं. आपने कार खरीदी, 5 वर्ष 10 वर्ष चलाई, अब ये ख़राब हो गई, पुरानी हो गई है, इसको बदल दिया जाए या इसको डिस्पोज कर दिया जाए. डिस्पोज का मतलब आपके लिए वो वैल्यूलेस हो गई, ऐसा सोचते हैं. इसलिए आप कोई भी प्रोडक्ट खरीदते हैं, छोटा बड़ा, वो कुछ समय के लिए ही वैलिड होता है, उसके बाद वो समाप्त हो जाता है. लेकिन कंस्ट्रक्शन जिसकी की जाती है, सिविल इंजीनियरिंग जहाँ लगती है, वहाँ अलग दुनिया है. अलग दुनिया का मतलब सोचने की दुनिया, करने की दुनिया. हम उसको ये नहीं कह सकते आपने एक मकान खरीदा है, पूरी ज़िंदगी की कमाई लगा दी कि भाई 2 साल के लिए मैं ख़रीदता हूँ, फिर देखेंगे. ऐसा तो नहीं होता है. हाँ, आप बेच के दूसरा ले सकते हैं, ये होता है. लेकिन ये कहना जी 2 साल बाद मैं दोबारा से बनाऊँगा, कहीं सोचा आपने? कहीं तो यहाँ तक कि बड़े बड़े पैसे वाली कंट्री भी ऐसा नहीं करती हैं कि हमने तो बना दिया, 5 साल में इसको दोबारा बनाएंगे. ऐसा कभी सुना आपने? नहीं सुना आपने, क्योंकि ये सब होता ही नहीं है. ये एक ऐसी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट का मतलब है, आप ऐसा काम करवा रहे हैं जो आने वाले आपके फर्स्ट जनरेशन, आपके बाद जो भी है, उसके बाद उसकी जनरेशन, और उसके बाद फिर उसकी, जिसको पीढ़ी कहते हैं हिंदी में, पीढ़ी पर पीढ़ी दर पीढ़ी ये आपका किया हुआ काम, आपका बनाया हुआ ढांचा चलना है. कई पीढ़ियाँ आपकी उसको प्रयोग में लाएं, सक्सेसफुली आगे चलाएं. आप इस दुनिया में ना रहें, पक्की बात है, नहीं रहेंगे. ये जो आप बना रहे हैं ये रहेगा, वो आपकी याद दिलाएगा, लेकिन आप आएंगे नहीं. लेकिन आपके दूसरे आएंगे, रहेंगे, उसका प्रयोग करेंगे, और उनके भी दूसरे रहेंगे और प्रयोग करेंगे. आप कह सकते हैं 4 5 3 4 5 आपकी पीढ़ियाँ आपके किए हुए प्रयत्नों का यूज़ करेंगी. उन्हें अच्छा भी कहेंगी, उन्हें बुरा भी कहेंगी, कमियां भी निकालेंगी और तारीफ़ें भी होंगी. ऐसा काम जिसमें इतने इनपुट हों, इतने आउटपुट हों, उसके बारे में आप क्या कहेंगे? सो आप उसको कॉन्ट्रैक्ट की दुनिया के थ्रू, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट की फार्मूला के थ्रू, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट की सपोर्ट के थ्रू आप बना रहे हैं. क्या आप उसको इतना हल्का ले सकते हैं? सोचिए, क्या उसको आप इतना हल्का ले सकते हैं जो चीज़ आपके आने वाले कई दशकों तक आपके काम आए? ये बहुत बड़ा पॉइंट है जो हम लोग कभी एनालाइज नहीं करते. दिस इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट, सिग्निफिकेंट पॉइंट, that for how long we shall use, or ours would use, this product which is being constructed, which is constructed just in a couple of years. And in reference to this document which we call contract document, or contract form, or contract standard format, I'm just interested to have you concentrate on such statements. And if you realize that really it's wonderful that system of contract is used for purpose of your many generations to come, then it should have genuinely inducted quality system into this. And that's why, and that's how it is a seriousness of interest in contract that we change our attitude towards it. We should not fun, we should not enjoy, oh, this is contract, don't worry, this is a contractor, this person is going to make money out of it, this person shall spoil quality. Generally people think that way, and that's not bad, that's not wrong, it's a fact. It's a factual statement, it's a factual expression of experience. But otherwise, you see, because it's a professional world, it's not ordinary contract, it is design contract, or it is construction contract, or it is both design and construction contract, which whole your life earnings can consume by this contract, and you are left with nothing, or maybe you have payback loans. That's the reason I try to stress on this issue of contract, everything, and how does it operate from beginning till end. And that's why here question comes of retention money. What is purpose of retention money? This I explained, and again I explain. It is not for holding money, it's temporary hold so that contractor should do its job. We know contractor has to do its job, because contractor signed a contract means contractor is serious. But seriousness should be seen, it should be experienced, it should be understood. And that understanding can come only when contractor works according to agreement, according to specifications, according to quality input. And that's the most important point. Why should we run away from that? Retention money is very small amount. It is only say 10% maximum. If I work for 100 rupees, I can allow you to hold 10 rupees. But retention money is also has a limit in some cases, and more than this amount you cannot retain. Well, contractor shall not run away after all. We have performance bond, and before contract was realized, it was tender bond. So we have limited amount already with us in form of performance bond, against which action can be taken against contractor if some adverse circumstances develop and contractor runs away. But it is very rare. Retention money is very, very normal, and also there are so many structures of that. If you do not want to retain, you can allow bond for that, you can allow guarantee against that. And here it says that 5% is released when work is taken over, and another 5% when final certificate is given. So this is something different we are talking of. So what it says, I'll read for you so that we can refresh what's point in our mind. Background of explanation was just to have fear exit from our minds and hearts, because by contracts I am sure that our engineer brothers and sisters, they don't like involvement on contracts. They are very much interested in designs. Generally engineering community have experienced they're more oriented on designs, and not good enough in communication, coordination, contract world, and therefore they keep off from total controls. If a contractor knows that engineers are interested in contract organization, they are interested in quality issues, they are interested in communication coordination, you can change scenario. And that can be done only when we treat contract as professional activity. Contract as professional world. It's having same power as other subjects do have. We have to consider very seriously during education of engineering. It's not something, a shop work. It's very much professional because whatever we do on contracts, that activity or all activities do relate to professionalism. We do everything of engineering world on contracts. Nothing is non-engineering. Even setting outside, measurement, center, you see. There's no work done in construction or in manufacturing which does not relate to engineering. It's completely professional. In fact, it's a result of engineering domain. Whatever we have done for this building work, whatever we have done for some infrastructure work, all is engineering. And through this construction contract, we apply that. This point we have to understand that contract is ultimate requirement. Contract means give physical shape to imaginary contemplation. That is very important lies. So we have to say about retention money after issue of taking over certificate for works. Contract shall include first half of retention money in a statement. For a section, contractor shall include relevant percent of first half of retention money in a statement. After latest of expiry dates of defects notification period, contractor shall include second half of retention money in a statement promptly after such latest date. If a taking over certificate was or was deemed to have been issued for a section, contractor shall include relevant percentage of relevant percentage of second half of retention money in a statement promptly after expiry date of DNP, that is defects notification period for section. In next interim payment after employer receives whatever such a statement, employer shall release corresponding amount of retention money. However, when considering amount to be due for release of retention money under interim payment clause, if whatever work remains to be executed under defects after taking over or test after completion clause, employer shall be entitled to withhold estimated cost of this work until it has been executed. Relevant percentage for each section shall be percentage value of section as stated in contract data. If percentage value of a section is not stated in contract data, no percentage of either half of retention money shall be released under this subclause in respect of each section. So this is very normal and you can understand this very well. Now I am going to go somewhere else, and that is end of project physically, and that is statement at completion. Completion, which is focus, final destination, which is terminal of our project life, which is terminal from where this whole work, this whole project shall be converted to be occupied for processing, to be occupied for manufacturing, or to be occupied for operation of whatever nature project has meant for. That stage is very important in contract world. Remember, contracts are all times temporary. Contracts are very powerful indeed, financially, work-wise, expertise-wise, and these are very powerful in a way that these products delivered because of this contract continue to be used forever, or we can say for good. That power of contract must be seriously realized, and this power means how much power those engineers who execute this, or those who engineers who supervise all this, or superintend all this, or serve in all this, strong they should be. It's completely different. Every activity we do on contracts or without contract must be taken seriously. Each and every hour we have to be very vigilant for purpose of giving competent and consistent product. Consistent and competent doesn't mean that these apply only to human. These can apply to products also. That is an interesting point, and it is beyond contemporary powers of others. It is only engineers who can understand such part imagination and part reality, because it's partly on both cases. हमें जो भी काम करना होता है वो कितना सही हम कर सकते हैं ये इंजीनियर ही समझ सकता है। जानता हुआ भी कई बार इंजीनियर चुप रहता है क्योंकि रिक्वायरमेंट ऐसी होती है। बहुत सी चीज़ें सीक्रेट होती हैं, बहुत सी कॉन्फिडेंशियल होती हैं। हर बात हर व्यक्ति को बताई नहीं जा सकती। कुछ बातें इतनी सीक्रेट होती हैं कि वो उसी को बताई जा सकती हैं जिसके लिए वो लागू हों, और जिससे उनका कोई लेना देना नहीं है वो बातें नहीं बता सकते। ये सब हम लोग समझते हैं, इंजीनियर्स इन बात को समझते हैं। हम इन चीज़ों से अलग नहीं हैं, लेकिन एक लिमिट होती है, एक डेकोरम होता है, उसी के हिसाब से चलना होता है। हर बात हर एक को समझाई भी नहीं जा सकती, और हर बात हर एक व्यक्ति समझ भी नहीं सकता। जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है वही समझेंगे जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट से खेल करते हैं, डील करते हैं। टेक्निकल बात वही समझेंगे जो तकनीकी से डील करते हैं। एडमिशन की बात वही समझेंगे जो उससे डील करते हैं। हर बात हर व्यक्ति से डील नहीं की जा सकती, क्योंकि हर बार एक विशेषज्ञता है। लेकिन इंजीनियर एक ऐसा वर्ग है जो इन सब चीज़ों से झुलसता है पूरे विश्व में, यही नहीं, ऑल ओवर वर्ल्ड। इट इज़ engineer intellectual who has to deal with all these subjects, all these issues, and that's why you can find personality of an engineer whose experience on contracts is entirely different. Power of thinking, power of contemplation, power of working, power of controlling, power of communication. You will find all-time differences or super. Maybe defective, I cannot say that everything is right, but defection corrective also, defect corrections also. That's why we say project is completely different. I'm not telling something new. It's only an opportunity to express my opinions. How do I feel? Because I also had same type of intention or opinion when I started my career, and I thought that what people used to say, contract is a bad business, I did not realize that. It's not a business, it's a dedication, because it is engineers ultimately who work there, not contractor. Again I say, contractor is only by namesake. It's only professionals who work there in every business section, in every trade of that company, and hardly direct involvement of contractors is seen. So it's only show, I can say. Contract is only a show, but work is done by engineers. It may be prosecution work or execution work. It may be supervision work. It may be surveillance work. or it may be testing work, or it may be whatever else, where every effort is consumed, effort of all people. So contract cannot be taken equivalent to that of travel contract or purchasing contract or supplies contract. Likewise, it is a different professional contract world. If you see language, if you see number of contents of pages, if you see number of documents, maybe if you see first time you will get surprises. So many documents, so many pages, I won't be able to go through in couple of months. Then how can I do this if I cannot go through that? That question can be raised. If there are so many volumes of contract documents, hundreds and hundreds of drawings, then you can say specification documents which has no limit, which are limitless. Therefore, it's very questionable issue, because all these documents are required to be prepared to. It's not that we can buy some book from market and say this, use this. That doesn't work in our engineering contracts, engineering construction contracts, engineering design contracts, engineering, or whatever way you can say, whatever way, engineering specifications, drawings, engineering design drawings, engineering, or you can say directives, are so many other documents which are issued in engineering, from instructions, from whatever it is. It sometimes really brings to me surprises. I did not understand contracting since early beginning of my career, and we thought we in a different. I still today I find engineers. So I don't want to work in contracting. It's low profile. People say like that. They don't understand. It's not contractor. It is engineer like you and me, who work in contracting, who work in designs. Of course, in different cadres, but responsibility is same. So what I can say, if I cannot understand physicality of work, if I don't know problems, what I have to face personally as an engineer in field, then I cannot expect myself to be a good designer as well, because physical work and designs are related. We can think of, we can consider whatever we do in designs, but we should keep in mind that it has to be completed. It has to be completed physically. It has to be done, or else there is no meaning at all. If I cannot do it, way it was designed, then there is no meaning of that. Therefore, it's very important part. And here I was talking of statement at completion. To come back to square one, I tried to explain my views. Maybe these are not same as you think. There can be difference of opinions, and that difference of opinion must be bridged. And if I cannot bridge that, you cannot bridge that. This means we have no variation in our contemplation. जगह जगह अलग अलग सोचना बहुत आवश्यक. Statement of completion and at completion. Within 84 days, within 84 days after date of completion of works, means 12 weeks. Within 84 days. See, so many days are allowed because there are projects which go on construction for couple of years. So these 84 days, or these do not, though it looks very abnormal, 84 days I have to wait. Within 84 days after date of completion of works, contractor submit to employer, or shall submit to employer, a statement at completion with supporting documents in accordance with clause application for interim payment, showing value of work done, value of all work done, in accordance with contract up to date of completion of works. You got this point? Value of all work done in accordance with contract up to date of completion of works. आपको सारा हिसाब किताब बनाना चाहिए उसमें, वो कितने वैल्यू का काम किया है आपने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में उस तारीख तक कंप्लीट करने तक. मैं कुछ डॉक्यूमेंट दिखाऊंगा बाद में आपको. वैल्यू ऑफ ऑल वर्क डन इन अकॉर्डेंस विद कॉन्ट्रैक्ट अप टू डेट ऑफ कंप्लीशन ऑफ वर्क्स. Further sums which contractor considers to be due at date of completion of works. Further sums which contractor considers to be due at date of completion of works. Estimate of whatever other amounts which contractor considers have or shall become due after date of completion of works, and you can say under contract or otherwise. These estimated amounts shall be shown separately to those of subparagraphs above and shall include estimated amounts for claims for which contractor has submitted a notice under claims for payment and extension of time. क्या हो रहा है साहब? नाली है क्या? कहाँ नहाए? अच्छा अच्छा. नहीं खुल रहा? लाइट जला देते ना बाहर की. अरे डॉक्टर साहब नहीं खुलेगा ऐसे. आता हूँ मेरे को. तो चोर ताला खोलो ना, चोर ताला. वो तो चोर ताला घुमाओ. अरे ताला जो बीच में लगा हुआ है गोल वाला. अरे डॉक्टर साहब ऐसे नहीं आएगा, आपको नहीं समझ आ रहा. अरे डॉक्टर साहब नहीं. हाँ खुल गया ठीक है. 11 डिग्री है. 11 डिग्री है. हाँ अभी तो लेटी होगी 2 बजे, लेटी होगी 2-2:30 बजे. यही तो प्रॉब्लम है ना आजकल का, कार्तिक में ही प्रॉब्लम है.
अब क्या कर रही है?
अभी नहाएगी फिर पूजा करेगी. अभी सफाई कर रही है, किचन साफ करेगी, बाथरूम साफ करेगी, नहाएगी फिर पूजा करेगी. 6:30 बाहर आ जाएगी.
अभी अंदर रहेगी.
अंदर का मतलब अपने उसमें बिजी रहेगी पूजा में. भक्ति है ये. भक्ति है भक्ति. अब आपको भक्ति चाहिए युक्ति चाहिए, आप ये देखो.
काम चाहिए.
युक्ति चाहिए कि भक्ति चाहिए?
युक्ति चाहिए.
इन सनातन वालों ने पागल बना रखा है डॉक्टर साहब. इस सनातन वाले जो है ना इन्होंने पागल मार दिया सबको.
टेंशन वही था. शाम को कहती है मेरे को, वो भैया शाम को नहाता है. हाँ कभी भी नहाने क्या पड़ता. यदि शाम को शुभ नहीं होता वो काल का.
शुभ नहीं होता. शुभ के हिसाब से कह रही है, मेडिकल के हिसाब से नहीं.
मेडिकल वो ना तो लेता है तो भाई तो लेता है.
अब देखो ना यही है ना, जस्टिफिकेशन नहीं किसी
को. शुभ तो बंटी का किया था हमने. सुबह
सारे रीति रिवाज करा के आई थी.
सर पूजा सब कराई थी.
कहाँ गई वो?
कहाँ गई वो? बेको बुला रहे पंडित.
मैं इनको समझाता हूँ, समझता कोई नहीं. पंडित से बड़ा कोई फ्रॉड रावण कौन था? पंडित था ना. क्या किया उसने?
कुछ नहीं किया.
नहीं क्या किया उसने कर्म? सीता को लेकर भाग गया.
हाँ.
ये बात समझ नहीं आती.
ये जो है
रावण से बड़ा पंडित तो राम भी नहीं था।
हाँ, वो तो हमेशा बदमाशी करेगी, शंकर भगवान को लूट ली। मतलब भगवान को नहीं छोड़ा, वो तो भगवान के लंका ही लेके वो नहीं आती, पार्वती नहीं आती तो वो तो लेता था, उनको बंदी बुला लेता। तो देख लो, मतलब वहां से समझ नहीं लिया
फिर
उन्होंने।
भी उन्हीं के पीछे लगे रहते। वही है ना, एनालाइज नहीं करते ना पंडितों ने। इनका जो माइंड देखो, पंडित वही है जो मुसलमान है, आप याद रखो लोग सब। मुसलमान को जैसे बेवकूफ बनाया हुआ है ना उन्होंने, मौलवियों ने अपना माइंड बांध दिया उनको, पंडितों ने इनका माइंड बांधा हुआ है। फर्क कुछ नहीं है, ये लोग समझते नहीं है ना।
ये
पंडित
जो अलग मानते हैं वो अलग है।
नहीं, आप समझे नहीं बात को। माइंड का मतलब माइंड यूज मत करो।
अच्छा,
इस्लाम में कहता है अपने माइंड को यूज मत करो, जो कुरान कह रही है वही करो।
वो अच्छा,
ये कहते हैं जो गीता कह रही है वो करो, या रामायण कह रही है वो करो। फिर तुम क्या कर रहे हो? जब तू गीता और के पता चले तेरी जरूरत क्या है।
अभी इसका मतलब चाय भी पूजा के बाद में पड़ेगी?
नहीं, चाय तो मैंने पिला दी थी इसको थोड़ी सी अभी।
नहीं नहीं, हम लोग चाय पिए तो
हाँ वो अभी करेगी ना, अभी अभी तो
तो
भूख
पूजा
आप
करेगी।
लगा मैं
पूजा करेगी।
नहीं, पूजा तो वो बाहर करेगी ना, किचन में थोड़ी करेगी।
नहीं नहीं, किचन में नहीं, वो
चलो देख लो, अभी आ जाएगी, नहारी होगी अभी। बाथरूम में ही होगी और कहाँ होगी? उधर तो आप थे ना, इसलिए इधर नहा लेगी, उसमें क्या है?
तो बोल दिया ना, वो तो बता देना।
नहीं, सफाई वफाई करते हैं ना, ऐसे नहीं करते ना। सफाई करती है काफ़ी, आधे घंटे की पूछा मैं, 1 घंटा सफाई करती है।
आपको मेरे को एक ब्लैंकेट मारो,
हम्म?
इसी में गर्म पानी हो जाएगी ना?
क्या चीज़?
गर्म पानी तो हो जाएगा ना इसमें?
हाँ तो कर लो, करो, ऑन करो, गर्म पे ही लगा हुआ है वो, उसे ऑन कर लो आप। उस स्विच को नीचे ऑन कर दो ना, स्विच स्विच है उसका, नीचे स्विच ऑन कर दो ना आप, नीचे है। हाँ ऑन कर दो बस, लाइट आ गया इसमें, बस तो गर्म हो जाएगा। तो ओवन में बना लेते नहीं तो। I'm sorry, Gentle, not to do some disturbance here in public video. I'm sorry for that. So what can I do? This is life. Of course, somebody is here, my guest. So this estimated amount shall be shown. These estimated amount shall be. नहीं वो लाल बत्ती आ रही है ना, देखो उसको आपको गर्म होने दो, अभी गर्म एकदम धुल जाएगा, 1 मिनट तो लगेगा। These estimated amounts shall be shown separately and shall include estimated amounts for claims for which contractor has submitted a notice. Under claims for payment and DOT, any matters referred to DAB under obtained DAB's decision, matter of which NOD has been given, employer shall then proceed in accordance with interim payment. Final statement. Final statement. Very important clause. Final statement. नमक नहीं डालते क्या? नमक नहीं डालते? नमक नहीं? और ले लो, पानी तो है उसमें और
ले लिया, एक गिलास और ले लिया, एक सिप कर लिया, एक ले लिया, पीऊंगा, हो गया।
Submission. Submission by contractors. अगर नहाना है तो ऊपर गीजर ऑन कराऊं? हाँ, वही ना होगी। क्या प्रॉब्लम दे रही है?
नई गाड़ी है, ज्यादा चल रही है।
अच्छा,
उसका पोल्यूशन कराया था और पोल्यूशन में कार्बन भी आ रहा है।
अच्छा, ज़्यादा चलाते हो आप?
नहीं, वो हो गया टाइम पे ज्यादा चल रही है।
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा।
ड्यू थी ना।
हाँ हाँ
वो सर्विस 5,000 किलोमीटर दी,
हाँ
वो 7,000 हो गई।
हाँ।
आजकल चली ना, आजकल चली ना गाड़ी।
अच्छा अच्छा। Submission by contractor. Submission by contractor of whatever statement under following provisions of this clause shall not be delayed by reason of whatever referral under obtaining DAP's decision or whatever arbitration under arbitration. Draft final statement. Within 56 days after issue of performance certificate, within 56 days after issue of performance certificate, contractor shall submit to employer a draft final statement. Statement shall be in same form as statements previously submitted. Statement shall be in same form as statements previously submitted under application for interim payment. Be submitted in one paper original, one electronic copy and additional paper copies as stated in contract data. Show in details with supporting documents value of all work done in accordance with contract. Further sums which contractor considers to be due at date of issue of performance certificate under contract or otherwise. An estimate of whatever other amounts which contractor considers have or shall become due after issue of performance certificate under contract or otherwise, including estimated amounts by reference to matters described. The statement at completion. These estimated amounts shall be shown separately to those of subparagraphs, except for any amount, except for whatever amount under subparagraph, if employer disagrees with or cannot verify part of draft final statement, employer shall promptly give a notice to contractor. Contractor shall then submit such further information as employer may reasonably require within time stated in this notice, and shall make such changes in draft as may be agreed between them. And then agreed final statement. If there are no amounts under subparagraph of draft final statement, contractor shall then prepare and submit to employer final statement as agreed final statement in these conditions. However, there are amounts under draft final statement or following discussions between employer and contractor becomes evident that they cannot agree in draft final statement. Contractor shall then prepare and submit to employer a statement identifying separately agreed amounts, estimated amounts, and disagreed amounts, partly agreed final statement in these conditions. Discharge. What is discharge? Here is definition. Very, very significant one. Discharge. When submitting final statement of or partially agreed final statement, when submitting final statement or partially agreed final statement, contractor shall submit a discharge which confirms that total of such statement represents full and final settlement of all monies. बनाता हूँ मैं आपकी चाय, बैठो ना आप, बना लेंगे। अभी कितने बजे जाओगे आप? अभी तो बहुत देर है, 5:30 हुए डॉक्टर साहब, आराम से जाओ ना, हम बनाते हैं, बैठो तो सही। When submitting final statement or partial agreed final statement, contractor shall submit a discharge which confirms that total of such statement represents full and final settlement of all monies due to contractor under or in connection with contract. This discharge may state that total of statement is subject to whatever payment that may become due in respect of whatever dispute for which a DAB proceeding or arbitration is in process under and that it becomes effective after contractor has received full payment of total amount stated in final statement and performance security. Well, I think I'll take this later on. I'm getting disturbed due to some guests, so let me close it as it is today, and we'll see how to handle this later on. And let me just browse it for final payment. Then I will also show some documents that Mr. Employer will discuss. And also I like to show you some my own used documents. This was somewhere. If you take care of this, here. Maybe usually some documents are very important here. This is some page I want to show you just for representation. It's what I'm saying is performance status report for some done project long back, and how it is done. What we show here as in references here, some references, and then you can see we go through title and all that, and forward note is here, the index is here, what index in this, what is index part A, part B to part L, scope, project title, object, all this is given in this document. Then part A to whatever is given here, you can see details are given. This is for supplies, and here is what we have sent about these provisions of contract, what were contract conditions, whether we applied and we completed them, we complied by that. That's given in this. It's an important part, and then we can say like it is, and we have put some annexures also there, all documents, that is we can say project closure report, and this we did just as explanation of conditions, and then whatever reaction, then all details of documents, what is status of this, how it is, what we have done, what we have not done. Then of course there is scope on contract cost, what we have done, what we have not done. It's say means work planned and work done, and balance is this or not balance is this. And we say our claims here, this is our due amount, and like because this is only supplies contract, it's not a construction contract. This information I'm giving you only from explanation viewpoint as to how we have to claim something at final stage. Again I show you so that you can have a glimpse of this, and that's it. It is that scope on contract agreement, project title and abilities and all this, and we can say that it's likewise. Same way I have many other documents also. I'll show you that one as well some of the time, and we have so many, you can say. Let us see this one. Let us see this one. Also one more, so that you can say this is this one. It's coming now, and it is here. Same with this but different. You can say standard. There's no standard system. It's up to you how to communicate. As a power of communication, I'm trying to show you what is power of communication, how communication can be used for this purpose, and we usually call it project closure. It's a very important one, and it's very important one and useful for everything. That's the reason, because then we'll study termination by employer after this, after occurrences of payment cessation of that. Final payment we'll discuss, because it's a very important issue. Then we'll discuss termination of employer, termination for contract default, and likewise you can say valuation after termination for contract default and payment after. Like this we'll discuss it this, and we miss that. So I close this now because I tried to show you something which I've done it. There's some problem here. I'm unable to concentrate on this. So